In less than 3 hours, attorneys for a former Frisco student convicted of murdering another report to court.
In June, Karmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison for stabbing Austin Metcalf to death. Now he's asking for a new trial and for the judge in his first trial to be recused.
Janelle Ford is live at the Collin County Courthouse talking to legal experts about today's proceedings. Janelle.
Well, Matt and Dia, there are really two separate questions playing out here over the next couple of days, as you mentioned. Today, it is all about who will be sitting on the bench when Karmelo Anthony makes his argument for a new trial. And then tomorrow, the focus shifts to whether he should get another shot in front of a jury. So our legal experts, they tell us the way this will work is Anthony's attorneys first have to convince a visiting judge that Judge John Roach should no longer handle these post-trial proceedings. They're pointing heavily to an interview Roach did with WFAA after the verdict, including his comments about the jury getting it right. And they argue that raises questions about whether he can now fairly consider a request to throw that verdict out. The standard here is whether a judge's impartiality could reasonably be questioned. I just spoke with our legal expert, Todd Shapiro, who says that's what both sides will have to argue in court here today.
I think they have to climb a pretty high mountain to get there, and I just don't see that Roach did anything other than run a completely efficient and speedy trial and got everybody a fair trial. Both sides got a fair trial, and so I don't really see how his comments post-trial would have an impact on whether or not he gets to continue to serve.
So then we get to the bigger fight tomorrow, which is the new trial. Anthony's attorneys are challenging several things that happened during the first one, including that so-called gentleman's agreement over evidence, Anthony's decision not to testify, courtroom access, and the removal of 3 black potential jurors. Prosecutors dispute the defense's characterization of that trial and maintain that the case was handled fairly. And again, today doesn't tell us whether Anthony gets a second chance in front of a jury. It tells us who will be sitting on the bench when that argument is made. Anthony himself is expected to be here in the courtroom for both of those hearings. And like before, there is no audio or visual recording. So Todd and our reporters will be inside the courtroom today, and we'll have the latest for you throughout the day as we get new developments. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Janelle, thank you so much for that. Make sure you stay tuned to WFAA all day long as our coverage from the courthouse begins. We'll also be streaming our After the Hearing special immediately after our 10 o'clock news.